Okay guys, so today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to implement a trial close a little bit earlier in the process. For those of you who haven't heard the phrase trial close before, that's your hood ornament presentation for some. It's basically gaining commitment from the customer, but we're going to do it early in the process, and we're going to do it in a fashion that's fairly non-committal in that we're just doing a quick temperature question and we're gauging their interest in the vehicle that we have them on. And the way we're going to do that is by asking them before we go on the test drive. So you've just given $1 million walk around, you've made sure that you've landed the customer on the right vehicle. You can tell they're giving you all the buying signals of like, yes, this is the one, it checks all the boxes for them. You're traditionally going to transition to your test drive here and say something along the lines of, you know, my favorite part about this car is how it feels going 55 miles an hour down the highway, right? Or you're gonna say, hey, real quick, Mr. Customer, if I can just get your driver's license, I'll take a quick copy and we'll take this thing for a spin, see how it feels behind the wheel, right? However you're gonna do it. Now, what I'm going to change about that, or at least advise that you change about that, is I wanna make sure that you are asking a temperature question at this point so that you can make sure that you are gaining at least a little bit of commitment from the customer to make sure that you have them on the right car. Because I'm sure every single person who's watching this video has had an experience where you spend 20 to 30 minutes on a test drive, you get back, you ask them if they want to buy the car, and they ultimately say no, they need to think about it, you dig a little bit deeper and you find out, well, this isn't even the right car. And they've known it's not the right car, but ultimately they are too nice, right? They're too nice. They don't want to hurt your feelings and tell you this isn't the right car. Or maybe they just want to take it for a drive, right? Just see how it feels, just have fun, and ultimately waste your time, right? And waste your time is a strong word, strong phrase, but ultimately that's what they are doing because you could be freeing yourself up for either another opportunity if you know they're not going to be buying, or alternatively, you could be putting them on the right car to increase your odds of actually selling them one. So what you're going to do in this situation is you're going to wrap up your walk around, you're going to be right about to transition into the test drive, and you can still say what you would normally say for your transition, but we're just gonna modify it a little bit. We're just gonna add a little bit extra on top. So what you're gonna say is something to the extent of, all right, Mr. Customer, so the next steps is going to be for us to go ahead and take this thing for a spin. All I need is to get a copy of your driver's license and we'll take it out on the road, just confirm that everything feels good, checks out exactly as I'm sure it will, make sure this is the right car for you, and ultimately if everything works out when we get back, we can go inside, put some numbers together and see if this makes sense for you. So what we're doing is you're going to use your traditional transition, right? Your traditional transition statement to going to the test drive, but you're going to be adding a little extra on top, just that little extra phrase of telling them the next steps. Couple things that are gonna happen with that. One, customers appreciate when you set proper expectations and tell them what the next steps are, because things are scary when they don't know what they're doing, right? And especially if this is somebody's first car buying experience, they're probably super nervous and they don't know what the next steps are. So setting expectations of the next steps is always going to set you up for success and is going to allow the customer to feel at ease. Now, that being said, the reason we're doing it this way is you're going to say to them, hey, the next steps are we're gonna drive this, and then after we drive it, we're gonna get back to the dealership, and assuming everything checked out on the test drive, we're gonna go inside, put some numbers together and see if it makes sense for you. Now, we're not doing a direct trial close of, when we get back to the dealership, we'll go inside, we'll put numbers together, and if all numbers are agreeable, do you want to take this home today? Is this the vehicle that you're going to be taking home today? Is this the vehicle that you want to buy today? We're not going to be doing that. The reason being is you haven't earned the right necessarily to ask them for their business yet, and that's a little scary, but we do want to do a soft trial close and set them up for the idea of buying this car, right? So that's why we're going to say, hey, next steps, Mr. Customer, we're gonna go ahead and get a copy of your driver's license and then get a phone number from you and a quick signature just authorizing the test drive. We'll take this for a spin, ultimately just so that we can make sure it feels good behind the wheel, feels good on the road, everything feels good for you, and everything checks out the way that I know it will because we put this thing through a thorough reconditioning process, or if it's a new car, which I know it will because it's a brand new car, right? There's nothing that's gonna be wrong with this sucker, but we just wanna make sure that it feels good. And assuming that it does, when we get back to the dealership, we'll go ahead and pull into customer parking, we'll go inside, put some numbers together and see if this makes sense for you. How's that sound? Now, the reason we're doing this is because at this point, one of a few things is gonna happen. One, they're going to say, whoa, slow down, cowboy. I don't know that I would wanna, put numbers together today, right? And that allows you to ask more questions and say, oh, not a problem, Mr. Customer, just curious, is there something wrong with the car? Is this not the right car? Does this car not check the boxes for you? And that allows you to dig in because you're going to have plenty of situations where the customer is literally going to tell you, hey man, I really appreciate it, but I just genuinely don't want a red car, right? I just genuinely want something that has a sunroof and this doesn't, right? And now that allows you to go to work and either A, overcome that, or B, pivot to another option, right? Because you might have just spent 20 to 30 minutes on a test drive with this customer in a car that they don't want. Now, another scenario is you ask them the question and they say, whoa, 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 yeah, I mean, I definitely want to take it for a drive, but I'm not ready to work numbers today. Hey, Mr. Customer, not a problem. Is there something wrong with the car? Or just curious, like, those are just the normal steps, no pressure. I'm just curious. I want to make sure that this is the right vehicle for you. No, I love the car. I just, I'm not ready to work numbers today, right? Okay, perfect. So now you've set yourself up knowing that they do want the car, right? They just told you they want the car. They told you they like the car. They told you it checks the boxes for them. So we absolutely want to take a test drive, but now you know how much work you have ahead of you, how hard it is going to be to earn their business today. Or alternatively, it may not be a car deal today, and that's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay because they will hopefully come back and buy from you if you've done a good job. But ideally, we're just going to close them today, right? Now, the third thing that they could do, which is optimal results, ideal, this is what we want every single time, is they're going to say, okay. And if you've been paying attention, what that means is you've got a car deal, right? They are going to say, yeah, sounds good. And that means let's rock and roll, let's go. They're gonna buy the car. They just told you, yeah, we're gonna get back and we're gonna do numbers, we're gonna see if it makes sense for you. Now, it's not a direct trial close in that you haven't said, if all numbers are agreeable, are you going to buy this car today? But this is as good of a temperature question as it gets. You have just said to them, hey, we're gonna put numbers together and see if it makes sense. And they are on board with that. Now we'll ask a more direct trial close after the test drive, but this just set you up and lets you know you've got a buyer. You are set for success. If you crushed your walk around and you did a good select from stock and you made sure you're on the right car, when you ask this question, you should get that answer and it's going to set you up for success, right? So make sure that you're asking this question and you're gonna get one of three responses typically, which is going to be, yeah, not really wanting to work numbers today. You ask why and you find out it's because it's not the right car. You're gonna get, yeah, I just don't want to work numbers today, but it is the right car. So you just got to work a little bit harder, but ultimately it might not be a deal today, just could be a deal later. Or C, we're going to get, yes, I want to buy the car, right? But you have to ask this question because the most tension that you're going to experience in the car buying experience in the car sales process is at the end of that test drive, when you're doing your trial close, when you're doing your hood ornament presentation, when you're doing the question that is, do you want to buy the car today? Will you buy the car today? Will you take the car home today? And the customer is going to say yes or no. And they know you're going to ask. They are anticipating that you're going to ask. They are expecting you to ask after the test drive. So we want to sneak just that little subtle trial close in earlier in the process so that we can figure out and gauge the temperature of whether or not we have a car deal today. And also set yourself up to pivot before it's too late in the process. Because if you figure out you're on the wrong car before you drive the car, you can put them on the right car so you drive the right car. Do not waste time driving the wrong car for your customers because they're not gonna buy it, right? Let's land them on the right car, let's drive them in the right car, and let's sell them the right car. Don't land them on the wrong car, drive them the wrong car, and pray to God your manager can sell them that wrong car because the odds of that working out are almost nothing. So just to recap, what we're gonna be doing, you're gonna do your $1 million walk around. But then when you transition to the test drive, you're just going to modify your verbiage a little bit. You're gonna set it up like you normally would, but we're just gonna add on, hey, just so you know, next steps, Mr. Customer, we're gonna go and take this for a spin. We're gonna confirm that everything feels good and works as it should, which it's going to. You can tell this is a great car. And ultimately, if everything feels right when we get back, we'll go ahead and go inside, we'll put some numbers together, and we'll see if this makes sense for you to take home today. How's that sound, right? Ask that question every single time. And I promise you, you will not only become more efficient with your process, but you will also set yourself up for success to ultimately sell more cars and gain confidence knowing that you're on the right car. So that when you ask that direct question of, hey, if all numbers are agreeable, will you buy today? Hey, you want to buy it, right? However you do it. Hey, Mr. Customer, you want to buy this car? You know that you're going to get a yes because you've already gauged their temperature and done the softball pitch of, hey, maybe we'll buy this later, right? So slow down a little bit, ask more questions before going to the test drive after you've given $1 million walk around, and I promise you'll sell more cars. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can always contact me directly at paradisesalestraining@outlook.com, leave a comment down below, or, whatever form of contact. I respond to just about anything other than smoke signals. Let's have a great day and sell a bunch of cars. Thanks, guys.